Yeah, a quick press. Hello. Let me just talk here.
So here.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Jangan pergi ikut depan.
I've got a script here. Just in case I misquoted, I thought I better prepare some brief remarks, and then I'll be happy to answer your questions. So let me read my brief remarks. I'm humbled by this appointment and thank Almighty God for His blessing. I'm most grateful to Prime Minister Tun Mahathir for the trust and confidence reposed in me. The office of the Attorney General of any nation at any point of time is entrusted with very serious responsibilities. In Malaysia, after 60 years of one-party rule, with the result that the law is in a parlous state, the Attorney General's responsibilities are doubly onerous. Hence, there is much reform to be carried out, and we need the assistance of all stakeholders to improve and strengthen the legal structure and system. I shall always promote genuine constitutionalism, separation of powers, rule of law, and due process, values which the newly elected government supports. My task is to assist the reforming government, just elected on a popular mandate, to implement a reform program of the administration of justice. The government's first and immediate priority is all matters pertaining to 1MDB. I have therefore to study the papers in that scandal. We shall institute criminal and civil proceedings in our courts against the alleged wrongdoers. All are equal before the law and no one will be spared. There will be no cover-up. Simultaneously, we will immediately contact our counterparts in the United States, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Singapore, and other jurisdictions to extend our full cooperation and assistance to them in all matters relating to 1MDB, with the objective of having returned to Malaysia the billions stolen from taxpayers. The second immediate priority is to repeal oppressive laws. The Prime Minister has already announced the end of GST and the anti-fake news, but the list of such laws is pretty long and Chambers has to take steps to repeal them either in whole or in part or on an urgent basis. Thirdly, we have to independently study the international obligations undertaken by the previous administration, such as contracts with other countries, to ascertain if they are lopsided against the interests of Malaysia. Selective prosecution will immediately cease. Those who commit no wrong have nothing to fear. Malaysia is a free country. We should not fear the midnight knock of the policeman. But those who flout the law will be met with the full force of the law, regardless of their station in life. On my part, I promise to do the right thing. That is, to tell the truth and to do justice. Justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. As guardian of the public interest, I shall take into account the interests and concerns of the public generally and not be confined to the interests of the executive. Conflicts of interest must cease. Integrity shall be a priority. I shall discharge my duties honestly, fairly, freely, independently, and to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Are there any individuals that you will be probing first?
I have to study the papers. As far as I'm concerned, it's alleged wrongdoers. I have to study the papers.
So there's a list of individuals that you
Can
will
I
be
just...
doing.
sorry?
Are there a list of individuals that you have at the moment
No,
that you will be?
that's Chambers to provide me.
Sir, do you have any idea about the reform of law reform committee in the parliament? The law reform committee. Do you have
Of Parliament, is it?
Yeah, in the parliament.
Well, they have not been performing in the last 60 years in previous Parliament, so we have to start afresh.
Will you be looking into previous allegations that the allegations that previous Attorney General stopped investigations into 1MDB?
Again, I will look in everything is open mind. I don't know. Don't forget, I'm an outsider. All I know is what I read in the public domain. I have not had access to any government documents, so I'm happy to study them. I've got an open mind.
Sir, did you mean that you will set up the committee in the parliament or
No. The parliament is separate. Parliament is absolutely separate.
And also Harapan suggests that the AG chambers should be separate from the public prosecutors. How do you see this, or when will it implement?
Well, let me tell you that the bar, of which I've just ceased to be a member, the bar has taken that position for decades. The bar has pushed for a separation of the public prosecutor's office and functions from the Attorney General, and that is my personal position, which is consistent with the bar. So I'm very happy that the reforming government, whom I now serve, has adopted that, and we will work towards that. But I think there is a process. It will take some time, and I'll be guided by chambers. That will certainly be the objective, a separation.
How do you feel on your first day to work?
Maybe the first 5 minutes. Just thrilled, I guess.
So how do you feel? What are your sentiments getting into the job after the backlash from certain sides of communities? How do you personally feel now you're given the clear green light to do your job?
Well, if you value free speech, then you must practice free speech. And free speech means everybody can criticize you. So I am happy for everybody to criticize me. It's part of free speech. And there's absolutely nothing. And in fact, I rather listen to criticism than praises and good things. So absolutely no problem. And please carry on. Because if you value free speech, you must criticize.
So how do you see assure yourself that you'll carry your duty without fear of ever, or like previous AG done, tied with the government?
Well, I cannot comment about my predecessors, but I've already had meetings with the Prime Minister, as you know, and he has given me a free hand on the chambers and whatever. So there's not a problem. There'll be no interference.
Throughout the system, any reformation on that?
I can't comment on the past, to be fair. I can tell you what I will do, which is I will apply my mind without interference.
So there is a concern from certain voters about your answer life. How do you comment on that?
Yes, I'm afraid I have to brush it up. I really have to brush it up. The trouble is in the private practice, which I've had for 42 years, dealing with clients, basically commercial clients and commercial documents, I guess I neglected my bahasa. So I brush it up. I promise to brush it up. I guess national service. I mean, at the end of the day, when the call was made, I was thrilled and honored. So national service, and try and do reform. It is the whole thing is reform. Somebody has to guide and direct reform of the law as part of a reforming government. So our mantra is a reforming Attorney General to assist the reforming Prime Minister elected by the people 3-4 weeks ago.
What will be your priorities?
I just said my priorities. Those three: 1MDB, repeal of laws, and lopsided contracts.
About 1MDB, who are the people who will be charged with this?
I have no idea. I have to be guided.
Sir, can you give us a time frame about
AG and DPP?
No. That's you don't know anything about it because I've just come in.
Any
I can
time
only
frame?
answer. Don't forget, I'm an outsider. I can only answer questions that I know from the outside. In a few minutes, I'll become an insider and then hopefully be briefed.
Just want to confirm, where did you receive the appointment letter?
Oh, well, I received it this morning. I think it was delivered to the office last night. I received it this morning at about 9 o'clock when I went to my old law office. So the letter says, it's not an official secret, so I can talk about the letter. The letter says that I'm appointed for 2 years from 4th June, which was Monday. and then it was dated 5th June, but I only received it on the 6th of June. But I won't be technical, I will leave on the 3rd of June, which is 2 years, in 2 years' time.
Would you have enough time, the 2 years, to finish all whatever
No, of
you
course
want to
not,
do?
of course not, of course not. This is a law, that's somebody else will do. Yes, absolutely not. I'm sorry, we're trying to reform 60 years of law. It will be a long process, and we would expect cooperation from all quarters, particularly the bar and the universities and the NGOs and the members of the public. We will listen to everybody. We want to listen. But what we are keen on, we will reform. The commitment to reform would be there. So what is the contents of the reform is dependent on input.
What do you think would be the first thing to need to be changed first in terms of reform?
Well, those laws will have to be repealed. I told you there's a list of laws. Yes, that's essentially.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.